just got me a pint and I split it with nobody. All of this ice and these diamonds, they shine on me. All of this pressing success got me stressed. Don't go testing my patience, I got none for nobody. Pour me up a couple sips, slow down. I've been getting high on the low down. I'm all fucking ballin' now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back in. Welcome to Unboxed, episode 6.
We're back, baby.
Holy shit, man. We've been doing this a while, which is good. We're flying by the seat of our pants sometimes, which is good, but that's okay. Life is good. Life is great.
Great.
Yep, life is good. My hair is growing back. Look at this, guys. Huh?
It's called you're out of the corporate rat race.
Yeah, corporate rat race, dealing with
it's
fucking...
less stress, dealing with fucking idiots all day.
Idiots all day. Yes, no offense.
No, a lot of idiots.
Yeah, a lot of idiots.
Yeah.
There's a lot of idiots in the world. But we're growing the hair back, which is sweet. We had like a mullet thing going on and a big beard.
You know what you should do?
And I'm going to tell you right now, not one female will talk to me. Yeah, I'm single right now at this point in life.
You know what you should do, though? I'm going to... So
30th,
my brother, whom I love very much, his hairline's not looking hot. Mm-hmm. So if...
Don't tell me.
For hair implants...
He wants to plug me.
It is you go to Turkey. Istanbul is world renowned. It's awesome. Super cheap.
Yeah.
Might be worth looking into. It's pretty cheap. It's like $5,000.
Yeah, we might have to.
Because once you lose it all, it ain't coming back. I'd rather spend
if
5
you don't
G's and
use it, you lose it.
I mean, once the follicles are closed, man.
I know, man. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I should.
Let's go. I'll go with you. I'll do my beard. I need to.
Yeah.
I'll put some implants
Could
on
you
my
imagine
fucking
you
shitty beard I have. A fucking
We'll go together.
Perfect Drake beard.
I think we would have a sweet time in Turkey.
It would be great.
Too. Yeah,
you bring the girls, or we do some.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd love us out there.
We're gonna talk about some shit today.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good, I think.
So what are we gonna do? What are we gonna talk about?
We're gonna talk about the plan.
The plan.
The plan. So, World Economic Forum, George Soros, the powers that be, and we're gonna. Where's our tin? Robbie, did you bring the tinfoil hats today?
We need. This is a tin. I wish. Tinfoil hats.
Tinfoil hats on, because this is the plan. This is the plan for control. That's what it's all about. And we're going to talk through that they want you fatter. They want you sick. They want you dumb. They want you isolated. They want you divided. They want you to have war on this masculinity and the difference between the two, and so on and so forth. And there's a war, and there's a plan on having a wealth transfer and having the divide, the great divide, so to speak, be even greater.
Correct.
And we're going to go through each one and give some examples, and hopefully this opens your eyes a little bit. So we'll start with
just to touch on.
Yeah, please.
Who are the they?
Yeah.
And I would say that they are.
We are the they?
Politicians, globalists, the elites, the very high net worth that want to control all elements of the world. They want extreme wealth. They want to control your daily life. They despise things like the U.S. Constitution, this idea of inalienable rights that you have.
Right.
And
they despise that too. You guys got to understand. Sorry, dude.
No, you're good.
You got to understand that at that point, wealth isn't enough. So if you ever you have a Panerai on, yes, watch, right?
Yeah.
So, or like when I got my Rolly or Bell and Ross, or maybe when you got your car, when I got my car, house, you know how you were obsessed with it?
Yes.
And you got it, and it was cool for like 3 weeks, and then you're like, it's just mine. It is what it is. And it's kind of become vanilla to you. A lot of things in life, material possessions, come that way. And for these elite folks, they have everything.
Yeah.
The money isn't enough. The men or women, depending on whatever they like or prefer or their opposite are, the boats, the trips, they've seen everything, they've done everything. Why do you think these guys like Jeff Bezos they're creating Blue Origin to go to space, guys?
Yeah.
They've done it all.
There's so much money you can't
There's
even
so much money you
comprehend
can't comprehend how much it is, right?
Yes.
So the wealth isn't enough. So what do you want now? I want power. I want control.
Yes.
I want legacy. I want history books. How do I do that? I don't know. Let's see if we can control a whole population.
Exactly. And I think that a lot of people say it can't happen in America. I just want you guys to keep in mind that America has been a country since 1776. So call that 250 years. There are civilizations, ancient Greece, ancient Rome, the Persian Empire, the Ottoman Empire, all these, the Egyptians that were thousands and thousands of years. Now, there has never been a civilization
Republic
that did not turn into a authoritarian controlled regime.
It's true.
It's inevitable. So
never in the history of things ever.
Correct.
There's always been that in every civilization.
Human behavior is to control and dominate everything.
Correct.
And America is not immune to it.
Any different? No, it's not.
No.
We're the only country that's ever been like this, too, that's been a free country, that have had our constitutional rights.
Yep.
That has a great, up until maybe this last election, real talk, a great election process that is not corrupt, for lack of a better phrase, at least less corrupt than others. And it's the first country ever in the history of mankind that has been able to prosper in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
The way that we've
with
prospered.
the amount of advancements.
To be it's crazy. And those things are held up on freedoms. And these folks don't want you to have those freedoms.
No.
And that's what we're going to dive into.
Yeah.
So they want you to be fat.
Correct. Have you seen?
Why do you think that?
Well, I mean, let's just look at the proof that they want you to be fat. There are fat Victoria's Secret models on the cover. They talk about how it's wrong to fat shame. What the actual fuck are you talking about? When I see models and actresses and actors, I want fucking the chicks to have awesome bodies and I want the dudes to look jacked, because that's what we should strive for. But the fact that society is softening up to body acceptance, or whatever you call it, is wrong. And
because it's not healthy. And that's
correct.
That's the
They
point.
know
Like,
that.
Look, dude, like I have my winter coat that I still haven't shed.
But
you know what I mean? But my
you're
point
working
is,
on it.
but my point is, yeah, but I'm a healthy dude. Like I feel like I'm healthy, maybe not all the time.
But look at you. You're also acknowledging that's why you're working out so
Right,
hard, is because
yeah.
I got some extra work to do.
Yeah.
But they would rather you say,
I like to also have
Cody,
fun.
What they'd rather you say is, Cody, your body's perfect.
Yeah, but I'm not okay with that.
Your body's like, don't work out. There's no need. Don't waste your time.
Not only does the narrative, though, let's like dive into some other. So I agree with you. And it's like, look, man, like if you're a healthy individual and you want that shit, great, but you should strive to be healthier, whatever that looks like for you. Like it's not too late. There's stories about people losing 200 pounds. Like it's not too late for you to have it, but they want you fat. They want you to not understand. There's a couple of things that I want to just highlight. One, if you think about when we went to school, maybe not you because you're like 16, but when we went to school, there was a food pyramid, right? And the food pyramid came out, I think it was late 80s. And the food pyramid was designed by the FDA, or the Food and Drug Administration. Yep. And it was designed to have 6 to 8 servings of bread, processed foods in grain.
Yes, cereals and
2 to 3.
Yes.
You remember all that?
Yes, yeah, I remember that.
And that really, if you look at it, and there was 2 to 3 of meat, poultry, fish, 2 to 3 servings of dairy. I think 1 of sweets. I don't know. You can look it up, guys. This is from high school. So they indoctrinated us with that. That actually isn't even like a really good meal plan. It's not good nutrition.
Opposite.
It's the counter opposite. You shouldn't have that much grain.
Got fat.
But why would they do that? Well, they want you fat, and they want to serve you things that are cheap for them to make and have the highest profit margin, i.e. bread. 6 to 8 servings of bread, grain, pasta, that kind of shit. Guys, not only does that stuff make you fat, it's delicious. No doubt, baby. You know what I'm saying? But it's the highest margin spread for those companies that they can ultimately, if they can gain tax abatements as a farmer, or if you can gain contracts with certain X, Y, and Z government entities, like it's pretty easy to have the FDA push that kind of stuff. And like, it's very common. It's common sense for all this stuff to happen. And that's how they indoctrinated a lot of the 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, all the way
They got you addicted to food. They got you eating a ton.
Right.
They don't want you living to be 100 because that would hurt the system because it's so run so inefficiently.
True.
Like,
they want you inflamed and fat.
They want you inflamed. They also then are in bed with pharmaceutical companies that are going to treat you by
that's the sick part,
which we're going to get into. But they're making money there too.
Yeah, of course they are, right? But they want you fat. Like, why do you think it is so cheap to go eat unhealthy? It really is, man. Like, Reese's is $2.50. I don't know what
No,
it
I
is.
mean, you go
now
to
with
McDonald's.
You can go to McDonald's.
Spicy McChicken,
I mean, dude, I grew up on
Same.
fast food.
I did too.
Like literally, my family didn't have a lot of money, but it wasn't the money part. That's the common misconception that I want to debunk on this episode. Is like, it's not about the money; it's about the education and the know-how. Like I grew up on McDonald's every day forever, it seemed like, or cup of noodles and shit like that. But that was because my mom at the time, or my dad at the time, didn't know how to feed us.
Yeah,
they didn't understand it.
Yeah,
so it's not necessarily that like eating healthier is more expensive. It just takes more time, planning, preparation, and understanding and knowledge of how to cook those foods.
Totally.
But it's easy and fast, but it's simple.
Yeah.
So if you can make something that's convenient, easy, fast, simple, cheap, why wouldn't everybody do it? Look at obesity rates. Obesity rates is 80%.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Or no, it's not. I'm sorry. It's like 65%. 65% of America, of the U.S. is obese clinically. Think about that, man. That's 2 out of every 3 people. And I want you to like listen to this episode and then go around and look. Well, and they don't think they're sick.
One thing too, and I'll say this, and this might offend some people, but
okay. That's what we're here for.
The reality is your health should be the most important thing in your life.
Number one.
So let me explain.
Some would say your walk with Jesus and if you're a Christ following man. Hold on.
Correct.
Just saying.
Yep.
And then, but aside from that, that should be number one because you're the center part of your family.
So let me ask you exactly. So let's use that example. Yeah. So no, I like that spin though, because I used to use this in sales calls. So in Corinthians, they talk about how to be a godly man, you have to be able to provide for your family. That you're worse than a sinner if you don't provide for your family.
Correct.
Okay. So based off of that assumption, how are you going to provide for your family if you have a heart attack at 30 and you're dead? You are bad. You were
bad
not
Christian,
right.
bad man.
You're a bad Christian, thus a bad man.
Yeah.
You didn't do what you could to make sure you persevere enough so you could help your children and help your family and help your community.
It could be 1A,
Shame
1B.
on you.
Sure. Agreed.
And it doesn't matter how many watches you have or what car you drive. If you just drop dead, there's no coming back. Like even if we can get into religious talk and what happens after death, but you're not coming back.
I don't think people think about death enough. I think about death a lot.
I do.
Dude, it's crazy. Like it drives me.
Yeah, it does.
It's a dark motivation for me. I realize like, dude, I like when I'm real talk, like this is just side note, I'm just bringing it up. Like when I'm hungover, I'm like, fuck, I have to get my ass up and moving because I only get one life and I'm not going to waste this day.
Yeah.
Because like you think about it, like you're at one point, something's going to happen, whether it be a car accident or you don't take care of your body right, you have a heart attack and die. Or you get whatever, something's going to happen. You're going to fucking die. I'm sorry to hear this. Sorry, you're going to die. So you only get one body. This is your one vehicle and one vessel. Stop listening to the powers that be and actually fucking take care of yourself, man.
Correct.
It's your obligation and your duty to your family, community, and environment.
Totally. And you should also get life insurance. It's only $60 a month. Plug.
Yeah.
Liberty Mutual.
Call me.
I'm just kidding.
Call me.
That's our thanks for our quick note from our sponsor.
Yeah, quick note from our sponsor real quick. Actually, Chris and I just created a life insurance policy.
I did. So when I left Rocket, you only have 30 days to transfer your life insurance policy. And I didn't do it, so it expired.
Neither did I.
So I did actually, the reason I'm bringing this up is I did get life insurance through who I have my homeowners with.
Healthy as an ox.
But they...
Do you have a nurse come out?
Exactly. So the nurse comes out to the house. They did the blood work. You pee in the thing. But it's like, it's $60 a month.
I think that was a... that
was a different test.
A different test.
That was the government.
Yeah. That's
they fucking
seeing where you are.
Yeah, seeing what I'm doing.
No. Yeah, but
But anyways, it's $1 million policy, which is not much. But if someone dies, you never know, guys. You never know.
But they want you fat, guys. They want the cheap food to be cheap. They want you to eat what they are farming so that they can have more margin and more money in their pockets. Lying in their pockets is just the truth. You can think we're crazy, but it's the truth. They want you fat. They want you slow. They want you dumb. We'll talk about all these things, but they also want you fat because, with all due respect, you're easily controlled. Truth be told, you and me in a fight versus 2 other guys, or 2 fat, obese people that can't even do 1 pull-up, 1 push-up, 1 sit-up. They're getting their ass kicked. I'd trip that person. I'd stomp their fucking face.
Yeah. I'd run.
Like I'm just saying, right? Like I'm sorry. Or you can't run away. If you're a large human, you run slower. Sorry, it's physics, right?
Yeah.
So like if you're a very large human, or you can't fit into a certain vehicle or certain thing or so on. So, and look, like I hate to sound shallow, but it's not being shallow if you're unhealthy.
You're correct. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family.
To your faith.
You owe it to your faith. You owe it to your community.
Agreed.
And you know what's the thing that always just shocks me? Now, granted, my parents were very healthy. Like my mom was a runner, ran every single day, ran a marathon a month. She's a freak. So that kind of instilled this like work ethic in me. But unlike success, like there is kind of a roadmap for what you got to do to say be a millionaire. Save your money, invest in your 401k. There's kind of a roadmap, right? But there's really no roadmap for how to become a billionaire. Like there's no easy roadmap.
Yeah.
Now with health, there is a proven roadmap. There is a proven way that it's literally an easy equation. How many calories you should eat, how many times you should work out.
Yes.
That is it. And it will be, and if you just stick to the plan, it's 100% guaranteed it will work.
Yep. It just takes a little bit of moxie, a little bit of discipline.
It's going to take a lot longer than you think. It's going to take a long time.
Well, think about this. So let's say you are 350 pounds and it's taken you 15 years to get to 350. Guys, what you put in was what you put out. If it's taking you 15 years to get to 350, you ain't going to spend 60 days getting to 250 again. You've spent that much time getting that big. It's going to take an equal and opposite amount of time and force to get that less, a little bit less.
I agree. But give or take. It depends on what you're doing. Yes. But have that expectation. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
that's really true.
100%. So they want you fat.
Yep.
They also want you fucking sick.
Yep.
Pharmaceutical companies, they want you fat so then you can become sick.
Correct.
They want you to have heart attacks so they can treat it. They want you to have carcinogens in your damn spray on.
So what is it called? Cancers.
So you can get cancers.
Yep.
They want you to
take a vaccine, which they're going to fund so that eventually, hopefully it doesn't, but if you end up getting sick or some things start popping up, they're going to have the treatment. Pfizer just bought a research clinic for myocarditis that treats it.
Interesting.
Why would Pfizer buy that?
Because you can be on both sides of the edge.
Because I thought the vaccine had no side effects. It's weird. Well, everyone taking COVID, myocarditis cases have skyrocketed among super healthy people. And then Pfizer's also buying treatment centers for myocarditis. Is that not where they're going to profit on that side too?
Of course.
Take the vaccine, you have to. It's your duty.
It's full circle. They want you sick. They want you in the hospital. They want you because if you're a weak, fat, sick human being, addicted human to medicine, it's easier to control you.
Correct.
And it's easier to take over your human. Like, guys, it wasn't that long ago that people were fighting. I said this in 2 episodes ago. Like, people hand-to-hand combat. We lost our fucking whole system when two men couldn't, and we'll talk about masculinity, but two men can't go fight out in the street without getting a lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? Type of shit. Like,
it's real.
It's like hand-to-hand combat is a real thing. And if you're sick and fat and so on and so forth, it's pretty easy to kick your ass.
Guys, and look at which we talked about, our southern border. Like, we are letting in, I think, 800,000 people a month into this country.
Yeah.
Fentanyl cases are skyrocketing. Drugs are coming in. Yes, are there some good, innocent people? Sure. But it doesn't, that's part of the plan.
Yeah.
The part of the plan is to keep you sick, get you people addicted to drugs. Like, it's all part of it.
Yep, it is. Get them addicted to drugs. Get them fat. Have them eat the wrong foods. And that's another thing too. When's the last time, if you really look at it, how many commercials have you seen aside from infomercials that talk about being proactive with your health? And I'm talking about the fat and the sick part, right? So on the other hand, you've seen 100 of those, the Keytruda. You might have this, side effects, be diarrhea, so on and so forth. How much, point. From a media standpoint, I don't see anybody on there saying like, hey, here's what you should do to feel better. You should work out. You should get some vitamin D. Here's the diet plan that you want. Like, that should be the damn commercials.
But instead, they should be teaching that too.
Right, but instead, it's the opposite. It is how to fix the problem, not to address the problem proactively.
Yes,
and that's the problem.
Totally. And
this is the problem.
Yes, there was. I was listening to a Matt Walsh interview, and someone was asking him a question talking about pharmaceutical companies, and one thing he suggested, which I thought actually was a pretty good rule, is that pharmaceutical companies should not be able to advertise.
Agreed.
At all. Because why are you talking about,
in most countries, it's not the
you're
case.
This sick, you should use this drug. Ask your doctor. It's first of all,
in most countries,
it shouldn't be your job. It should be the doctor's job to have knowledge of the medications available and then prescribe you accordingly.
Yeah.
You should not be targeting your consumer. It's not right.
It's not right. Most countries, I think
unethical.
it's us in Australia, they're the only people that can do it.
Interesting.
Most, all of the countries, you
They're
cannot.
smart.
straight
Europe
to
does
the-
have some things that are spot on.
Yeah. Yep.
They're very strict with diets and processing.
Yep.
But they're also fucking idiots on some things too. So,
But they also want you, speaking of idiots,
yes,
good transition. They want you dumb.
dumb.
Why is school so expensive?
Well,
I think we can go deep on it, but I'm just saying, like,
well,
why is it so expensive? Like, it's kind of crazy to me.
Well, because when you have the government funding your education, which it should never have been, it used to be banks. You used to just write student loans. You had to qualify.
But Chris, that's not true. Government doesn't defend. Hold on. You got a student loan? What does it say? Fed loan servicing.
It's a federal loan, guys. And so banks
easy
used
to
to
get.
underwrite it. So you used to have to qualify for a loan, make sure you could pay it back. Now the government came in and now they're writing them, and they're basically anyone gets
You can
approved.
give it to 'em.
You can get approved for a student loan, $100,000 student loan, but you can't get approved for a fucking
business loan.
$100,000 mortgage or a business loan.
What?
It's crazy.
At 18, when I have no conception of the entire real world,
Yep.
I've sat
Here's
in my little.
$150,000. Then you talk about
Then they lie to you. They lie to you. And they say they're going to forgive them.
well, you're an idiot if you thought that. But also, shame on you if you don't pay him back. You're a grown man, or you're an adult. You
Grown
sign
woman.
on the dotted line that you're going to pay it back. If you studied something fucking useless and stupid, that's your fault.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
very simple.
Agreed. I don't have a college education. You do. We're very similar spots in life. I'm a little older than you. I think you're, a little more successful than I am just at your stage in life. It doesn't matter. But my point is you can come from different parts of life
Yes,
and still end up in the same location.
totally.
Right. And it's,
Well, and it's funny. My degree, I was a finance guy, and I did learn a lot about finance, but we're doing mortgages now.
yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
It's funny.
My point is, and the other thing is you can learn anything that you want to. So you don't have to go to school anymore, in my opinion. And this is just something I'm passionate about. Like, you don't have to go to college anymore. College is for fun. College is to college to have a good
It's an
time and maybe
experience.
experience it, and you'll learn some stuff. You'll definitely learn a lot about yourself. There's a lot of experimenting. But you're not going to learn, the real key things that you need to unless you are going for a professional degree like a doctor, a lawyer, engineer, what have you, where you actually need those specific pieces of paper.
Yes. In that
It's
case,
different.
I concur.
And then you got it right. Or a vocational school. Like, I also think that that's smart to do. Go learn HVAC or plumbing. But like these folks that are getting out $100,000, $200,000 in debt to have a fucking communications degree, and then they go make 40 grand, you're literally playing into their system. They want you dumb. They want you so dumb that you take out 200,000 to make 40,000 or 50,000 a year,
Yeah, and you
and you have to
never
pay them
pay
back.
it
You can
off.
never pay it off.
You'll never pay it
and you'll
off.
never get out of the rat race that is
You're stuck.
You're hiding in.
It's suffocating you.
It's crazy that universities are so expensive right now. It wasn't that way not even 20 years ago.
But that's an example of inflation. If everyone qualifies and the government is funding it, well, if I own a school, guess what? Tuition is $35,000 a year now, motherfuckers.
Yep, you're right. And it's they're boosting,
And we're going to
guys,
select who we
they're
want in.
boosting the prices.
Correct.
So that they can fund you getting them or getting the loans so that they can benefit from it.
Yeah.
Like, it's all right there. And if you really think that, I just want to touch on this too. If you really think that they're going to be forgiven, you're so dumb.
Well, and also,
And I'm
it's
not-
not
no offense to
ethical
all
for
the
them to be
clients.
forgiven.
All the clients that I've talked with in the past, and I mean no disrespect, but they're like, no, they're going to be forgiven. I'm like, no, they're fucking not. And there's instances, if you work for the government for a certain
the
amount of time, or
economy will crash.
education
I mean,
board or whatever the case is, that's the next
There's
thing that's going to make the
trillions of
economy
dollars.
crash.
So yeah, the one thing
That's the next thing.
The one thing that I think could cause a recession or an absolute destruction
is
of our economy
is a call of the loans. Like, you have to pay.
No. I think that should happen. I can't believe they're still saying you shouldn't be paying.
Yeah,
Trying to
I
push
agree.
that.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying if the Biden administration somehow gets through with forgiving student loans, the economy tanks.
Yeah.
It's dead.
You also think of this too, and this last point on dumb. So we covered fat, sick. Now we're talking about dumb. Like, you think about high school, and thank God Governor DeSantis at the time, it's April of 2022. Governor DeSantis just came out, and he's actually making financial literacy, how to balance everything, how to apply for
I wish
loans,
we had.
interest rates. My point is, we never had it. And it's not a law in any other state now unless it's Florida at this point in 2022.
God, he's the best.
And it's crazy to me that that's not out there. They want you dumb, guys. They want you to not understand interest rates. They want you to not understand how the loan process works. They want you to not understand how to balance a checkbook.
Or how to leverage
how to
debt.
have money, how any of this even makes sense. They want you to go fail on your own so that you owe them more money.
Yes.
Do you get it?
Correct. And you have to be dependent on them. It all goes back to what they want. They want you in debt. They want you dependent on the government. They want you needing universal health care from the government. They want you needing everything from the government. They don't want free thinkers, independent people that rely on each other, a nuclear family, a community that doesn't need the government.
Right.
They want you, they just want you dependent
They want
on the
the control.
Yeah.
And they want you to dumb enough to not think of it. They want these things. And the last thing too, I know we talked about it, but they're withholding information from you so that you don't see the other side of things. Maybe we'll get shadow banned. You won't be able to listen to this. You have all these different people that are spreading or trying to spread the truth so that you're more informed, i.e. smarter. That's how it works. You have more knowledge, you're smarter. The more you know, the more there is to know.
Yes.
But you have these people that are shadowing these things so you can't see them. They want you dumb.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Correct.
So
they don't want a bunch of people who are financially literate, who are not in debt, who make a good amount of money, that donate that take advantage of the write-offs that they give you so you have more money to donate to charities and things of good causes. They don't want that.
They don't want you. Want you poor.
Yeah. Which I don't know where you want to take it next, but in terms of like COVID.
Yeah, isolation.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they want you isolated. Again, this is the plan. They want you fat, sick, dumb, and now they want you isolated. I have a theory, and this is just my theory, that COVID was so that you were isolated at home so that you couldn't talk to other people.
Yep.
And come up with a grand plan to overthrow the powers that be or overthrow the situation.
Or just realize that,
it was
you don't
2
know
weeks
how many people died?
to spread
Yeah.
or to slow the curve.
Yeah.
And then it turned into 2 years. And it's only because it was 2 years because they wanted you isolated and you only had the screen in front of you. You couldn't go to church.
Correct.
You couldn't go to the gym. You couldn't talk to communities and tribes, like you always say, that you can actually come up with an idea or a plan.
Well, because they know that you would realize that it's not nearly as deadly as they're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk to a lot of people like, yo, you had it, you're fine. You had it, you're fine. I remember hearing the first case in Arizona. Oh my God, this person has COVID.
I thought they were dying, and it was like at a strip club, a nightclub out this way.
An Old Town.
Yeah.
Guy's fine drinking.
Guy's fine. He's having a good time. But they didn't want you to be, they wanted you to be isolated, not talking to each other. You could say, well, Cody, Chris, you have your cell phone and stuff. Yeah, but there's a difference between looking somebody in the eyeballs.
Well, and you're correct. And talking about isolated too, though, as you were alluding to.
Yeah.
The algorithms are designed on these social media platforms, so you see more of what you want to see. Isolates you to your side.
Correct.
On the right, it does the same thing. It shows you, and they do it because it's actually, I don't necessarily think it's evil. Twitter's case was evil, but it has to do with profits. They can show you more.
Yeah.
But that is also a sense of not allowing people to see other perspectives.
Right.
So I was talking to one of my friends, and we're kind of arguing because he's a little bit more center left. I'm more right. But we were talking about, we both agreed though that the country is so divided now.
Right.
And I asked him, why do you think that? And, he doesn't really have a good explanation. I think the very clear explanation is social media is 100% responsible for this division and hatred that we have for the other side.
Yeah.
We no longer communicate. We have our circles, our groups that we stay involved in. And we've lost this love for one another and this pride that we have as a country where we share some common beliefs. We just disagree on perhaps how to accomplish a certain goal.
Agreed, which is the next one, which is divided.
Yes.
And you're right. I mean, you can insert so many different things between people and show on social media or show on the legacy media that people are divided upon it. So then it strikes up conversation. People don't know how to have these conversations with people, so they get emotional. They get emotional because if I have an opposing view other than you, Chris, and I say, I think abortion should happen, you say, I don't think abortion should happen. You get insecure about your position because I start dropping knowledge and facts on you.
Yes.
So then you get emotional and you start
Defensive.
saying things that you don't mean. You start being defensive. You all of a sudden call me a racist out of nowhere. Like, it doesn't make any sense for what you're saying. You're being irrational. When in all reality, to have these conversations, you must be okay with yourself being swayed a little bit. You also must be okay and solidified with inside of your position. Well, the reason why they get so emotional, to me, in my opinion, is because they're not solidified with inside of their viewpoints. If you're solidified inside of your viewpoints, it's very easy to have a conversation and not get offensive, because I know at the end of the conversation, I might have taken a few things from you, but I'm not going to be swayed. Does that make sense? I'm not going to be emotional about it. I'm just going to have a conversation. My point is, these folks don't have the ability or the emotional intelligence to have those conversations. So they get immediately upset, and they immediately start saying things, and they immediately start dividing and push resistance, push. And then they're like, I'm going to go, this is my safety net. I know these people believe in the same thing. So then that group and that tribe and that connection becomes even stronger, and divide is even stronger as well because of that interaction.
Yeah. Well, so I do feel that you and I specifically, I do feel we're very open-minded, and like we've shared different ideas,
Sure.
like, oh, you know, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And I'll take it into account.
Shame.
But I think when it comes to especially politics and things like that, I actually am open to anyone sends me any like left-leaning thing.
Sure.
I will watch it with an open mind and try to, take it away. I feel that, at least from my experience, a lot of my left-leaning friends won't even watch right-leaning stuff.
It's because of what I just said, in my opinion.
Correct.
It's because they're not.
Well, it's
because their
I don't
dad
think
or their mom.
Correct.
Or their,
they don't know. They don't actually understand the topic. They don't understand, the bill and what is actually in the bill. They just read the surface and they made an opinion and said, I'm on this side. And they don't want to talk to you because they probably know that he might persuade me. He might persuade me.
He's going
to make me look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Because I really am an idiot, and I know I'm an idiot.
And they have this legacy, like we talk about legacy media, it's this legacy dogmatic thinking that I need to be what my father and my mother is. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
You don't.
At
right?
all.
Your dad and mom could be wrong, guys.
Yeah. My
dad says shit. He's so conservative. I'm like, dude, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, calm down. Like, seriously, like, no shit. I think I'm not that way though. I'm not that way.
Yeah.
I'm right in the middle, honestly, on a lot of things. So for the things that he's saying, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's okay to be the person that you want to be.
You shouldn't
not the
blindly
person
follow
that you
anyone.
have.
Honestly,
exactly. I agree.
You shouldn't
Doesn't matter if it's your family or not.
Your friends. You shouldn't blindly follow you. You shouldn't blindly follow your spouse.
Yeah.
I mean, you should question.
Think for yourself.
Research.
Yeah.
Read.
But they want you. We can insert anything.
Well, this also goes to literacy rates going down. We could talk about how COVID closed things down. People, the trauma the kids are going to face, how they've fallen back in education. Like, it's going to be bad. We're going to be paying for this for a long time.
But you can insert, and I keep saying this, but you can insert anything. Let's talk about a topic. LGBTQ community. Divisive.
Yes.
Divisive, insert here, make people yell at each other.
Correct.
Okay? Because they want you divided, because it's easier to divide and conquer. It's easier to divide and conquer an isolated, dumb, sick, fat group as well. Right?
Yes.
Those are all the things that we just covered.
Correct.
So they want you
Don't
can
go
put
outside.
Racism.
Yeah. Black.
Boom. Divided.
Yeah. You're either pro BLM or you hate BLM.
Right.
You're racist.
The movement.
Yeah.
Not the company. But yeah, it's you can insert anything. Guys are doing this. It's like if you shake up a jar of ants, they're gonna fight.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah.
It's like, no shit. A hyena and a damn lion.
Yeah.
They're going to fight.
If you put red and black ants, that's interesting. If you put red and black ants in a jar, they will coexist fine. However, if you shake it up,
and they've been shaking that jar,
the red and black ants will kill each other.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
And they've been shaking
That's literally a perfect metaphor for what's happening.
They're shaking the jar.
They're shaking it up now. We're stressed.
And then half of them die. And they're like, okay, let's settle something.
Yeah, let's settle. Now we gotta like each other.
And then like it's crazy. It's absolutely insane what they're doing, and they're doing it on purpose, guys. Because again, they want you divided. I know we cruise past isolated, which is fine, because isolated meaning at home, and then divided meaning on different viewpoints and so on and so forth. I do want to touch on. I have this weird theory. I don't think I've ever told you. Maybe I have. The gas prices are so high because they want you at home.
Oh, yeah. You've said that.
Did I say that? I feel that way. I know there's a lot of different factors that actually play into it, like if you really peel back the layers of shit. But I feel like the gas price is so high, they want your ass at home. They want you to hang out at home. Rent's so high because they want you to live with more people. Yeah. If that makes sense. They want you to be clicked up and divided and just isolated and dependent on each other. I don't know, just a theory of mine that I have. I also think from a division standpoint, if you look at Christianity as a whole, and you could be, Christianity just means believing in Jesus Christ. So whether that be on Catholicism or believing, Protestant, Baptist, doesn't matter what it is. There's different levels and layers to this, right? My point is you've seen the church from an attendance standpoint go way down, and you've seen the values of being a Christian or being, believing in God.
Pastors are dropping out.
Pastors dropping out. We also see a lot of things being divided when it comes to it, and a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's very divisive. It's like divisive things about churches being spread, so on and so forth, so that you can create non-believers. They want you divided even in your faith.
Oh yeah, they do. I mean, they want you to, in the guise of tolerance,
right? They
want you to be considered tolerant. Well, God is not tolerant. I'm sorry.
He is a king.
He is not tolerant.
He's a prophet. He's a king, and he's also a priest.
Correct.
Okay. The king makes fucking decisions.
Yes.
And he kills people. And the people that oppose him, that's literally, if you read the Bible, that's what happens. So the prophet is the person that is all loving, caring, and the lamb that loves. And the priest is the person that preaches, obviously, right? So our God is a God that is lamb and lion. He'll eat your ass, and then he'll also say he's okay. He's the person that he's somebody that we all try to emulate as men, and we try and do that with our families. Like, you have to be strong for your family and nurture like a lion, and then nurture and love your family like a lamb, right? So strong for and compassionate with.
It's the Jordan Peterson. Have you seen the video where he says, you should be a dangerous man, but peaceful. He said, being a weak man is not good. You need to be able to protect your family, protect your society, and if you need to be able to do it, and because it sets the order into things.
Yes, patriarchy.
If I'm not going to fuck with this guy, I'm not going to fuck with everyone because everyone's
It's okay for men and women to lead families. Just realize that there's a patriarchy involved. That's how God intended it to be.
Well, that's the perfect societies. The one thing I'll throw in there too, every society before they fall, just so you know, they always start to have a weird emphasis on gender and sex.
Well, that's literally, I know we're already diving into it. It's the war on masculinity. They want men weaker, and they want women divided and not wanting men.
Correct. They want women working so that they can raise your kids. They want,
have men weaker.
Correct. Right. They want men with low testosterone, because with men with low testosterone do not question authority. They're compliant. They do as they're told. Men with testosterone will speak their mind and aren't scared to do so.
The average 25-year-old male right now in 2022 has the testosterone levels that of a 60-year-old man.
Which you wonder why. Well, because they want you fat and dumb and weak.
Yeah, and how, you're like, Cody, what are you talking about? Like, that's crazy. Yeah, it's the food that you're eating.
Yeah.
Reference to number one, right?
Yeah.
So if you are body shaming, don't go to the gym, toxic masculinity, here's some really shitty foods. I'm going to make it cheaper to have these really shitty foods that lower your testosterone levels.
Yep.
To ultimately make you weaker and compliant.
You listen. You don't question authority.
It's a circle. It's a plan. It's literally called the plan. That's what we're talking about.
Guys, look up The Great Reset, Klaus Schwab.
Yep.
They talk about how the goal is to have, again, government control all elements of life.
Yep.
And what's going to happen, and he wrote a book called COVID-19, The Great Reset. And he talks about how we have to use COVID. This is a perfect opportunity to re-envision capitalism, re-envision government, re-envision climate change.
Plan.
Yes, it is. Well, if you look at, guys, what companies got during COVID, small businesses, 150,000 of them closed down.
Yeah.
The big companies, they grew by the trillions.
Yeah.
Trillions. Look at Elon, look at Bezos, their net worths went up in the billions.
Yeah. Doubled.
Yeah. Wild. And the goal is, it's a wealth transfer. The goal is to have the wealth and the elites control. You have nothing. It's literally our last point. It's in the book. Great. It's in the book. Or just look up The Great Reset. Read. They literally verbatim talk about how there's going to be a utopian future where if you're not in the elite, that you are a little socialist
Yeah.
group where you don't have
They're-
any homes,
Yeah.
you don't own properties, you don't even own clothes, you don't
Yeah.
own anything, and you just depend
And
on
you're
the
on
government.
universal basic income.
Correct.
And you can't work, otherwise you lose your universal basic income.
That's what they want.
Universal basic income is just welfare, guys. It's very simple. However, on welfare, you could still work to an extent. I think it's 18 hours. Universal basic income, you cannot work, and it's crazy how this whole thing works, but that's what they want. They want to control you so much that they can control also how much money you spend.
Yep.
And in my opinion, too, which is scary, are you going to talk about COVID passports and how that links into...
Well, I was going to talk about, because you said they're going to control how you spend. So,
Yeah.
well, the next kind of move
Yep.
that's
I
is
was
being
gonna-
talked about is digital currencies.
Right. Well, so they tried to leverage and use digital COVID passports. That was the
which
implant.
is surveillance about your biometrics.
Right. So now they want to do
Technocratic
that
state.
with wealth. Yeah.
Exactly. So